Hey everybody, and welcome to A Stylish Life. I'm Shakayla Diamond, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how important it is to make sure that you stay abreast within your industry. Make sure that you know what's going on currently in your industry, what's happened in the past in your industry, and just making sure that you know the knowledge that you need to know to be successful in the industry that you are in. I'm going to be talking about fashion specifically, as well as just a few business things in general, because I'm on both sides of that. And I'm going to just suggest some like websites, some books, kind of just what I do to make sure that I stay abreast with my industry, which of course is fashion. And since I run a fashion Instagram page, I have to stay abreast with what's going on anyway, because I post probably about 30 times a day max, or probably even more than that, depending on if it's a lot going on. And I need to make sure that I'm knowing what's happening so that I can post on that page. So I'm always looking for things, looking for what's going on. Also, since I'm a wardrobe stylist and a blogger, those two things also require me to always know what's going on, always know what's happening right now, what's in trend, what are people liking, what are they not liking, what happened with fashion in the past is something that I'm just interested in overall. I mean, it's not something I have to know, but I feel like in order for me to succeed the way I want to in my industry, I want to know it all. And you can never know too much, and you won't ever stop learning, which is why I'm constantly learning and being self-sufficient in finding ways to know more and find out more, because people aren't just gonna sit down and be like this and this. You have to take that initiative to want to learn yourself. So overall, I'm just going to tell you what I do, websites that I check out. Like I said, this is mainly fashion specific, so tips for people within fashion, but I also will make some suggestions for people in business as well overall, just so you're aware. So first, I'm going to talk about some websites that I view pretty much daily to constantly read articles. Like, I personally love to read articles. So one website is thecut.com. So it's just thecut.com. Another one is manrepeller.com. is really good. Any fashion magazine page is good as well. So like Vogue, Harper's Bazaar, Elle Magazine, Glamour, Teen Vogue, Ebony, Essence, like all of those are really good if you want to stay in the know of what's going on and what's popular and what's happening. Those are all good. Any fashion magazine site is great, and you can find some really good articles that can be about high fashion or designers or just regular everyday people within that fashion industry. Aside from those sites, on things like social media, I like to look at Fashion Bomb Daily. This woman by the name of, her Instagram name is Bronze Bombshell. I learned a lot from her too. She posts a lot about the history of the fashion industry, and I find that very interesting because, like I said, I want to know what happened in the past as well as what's going on right now and what's happening next. Another place that I look for fashion information as far as like online, that's pretty much it. It's just really the articles, the 2 pages on Instagram that I mentioned. Different fashion websites. You can literally go, Business of Fashion is actually another really good one too, but for most of their stuff, like, you have to be an actual member and have a subscription to read the whole article, which I feel is so annoying. But they're pretty good too if you want to know like the logistics of what's really going on. Some websites that I like to check out for business and not really like specific to fashion is Forbes. Blavity is good. What's another one that I like? A lot of those fashion websites too just mention regular business stuff as well. Just reading articles if I see them popping up, pretty much. And then next is some books. So a few books within fashion that I like to read is like, I like to read books on designers, so like books on fashion houses in general. So like the Chanel, Dior, Givenchy. Like, they all have their own book. They're pretty expensive, but I mean, you can find them on Amazon. But I really love those. Like, when I went to the Met Gala, I was just as infatuated with the bookstore as I was with the actual museum. But I personally love to read, so maybe that was just me, but I was infatuated. I was like, oh my god, like, I want every single book. But of course, knowing me, I'm not about to pay $100 for this book. So what did I do? While I was in there, I'm looking on Amazon, scrolling to see how much these books are costing, because these books are going to run you $100, $200 if you're buying them in the store, because they have so much information. So shop around first before you just go spending like a bunch of money on books. Because me personally, I order books so much, like, it makes no sense for me to pay full price for a book. I've never spent probably over $10 for a book, and $10 is a lot to me. So yeah, a few books that I like or am interested in reading is this one, is The Little Black Book of Style by Nina Garcia. I haven't read it yet, but I will be reading it soon. I just checked this out from the library. I mean, I was going to order it from Amazon, but the library at my school had it, so I'm going to read it. And then if it's a book that I want to keep or like just have in my archive, I'll order it from Amazon because it's pretty cheap on Amazon. I also got this book from the library at my school. It's Where Do Stylists Shop. I saw this on Instagram a while ago. One thing about me is that since I love to read so much, when I see somebody post a book on Instagram that I might be interested in reading, I screenshot it. Screenshot, because once I'm ready to read those books or order those books, I have the screenshots of things that I think are interesting, and I go on Amazon and I order them. Like, literally all over my apartment, there's books everywhere. I'm reading a book like every month, and most of the time it has nothing to do with fashion. Mainly they're business books for the most part, or it's like books on African American culture and history. Those are the type of things I like to read. So stuff about business, African American history and culture. Yeah, those are pretty much what I like. I dabble in some fashion books every now and then, but those are the two main genres that I like. But yeah, this book, I bet you it's going to have so much information on it. Inside of it, I mean, and I'm a wardrobe stylist, and as an upcoming wardrobe stylist, there's a lot that needs to be known. And it's not nobody who gonna be like, okay sis, look, this is what it is, get your pen and paper. Like, it's not a lot of people who are actually gonna do that for you. I mean, you might be somebody who will, but it's not common. So trying to learn what you can on your own is good, but I mean, you learn by just doing, because there is no handbook, there is no rule book, there is no guidelines to follow. Like, it's all trial and error and experience and experimenting. So yeah, I'm gonna read this book, take notes. If I feel like I need to buy it on Amazon, like I said with the other book, I will buy it on Amazon, but if not, I'm just gonna take notes. Any more fashion books? No, I don't have no more over here. But oh, actually, yes I do. This book right here, this is the Kimora book, the Kimora Lee Simmons book, Fabulosity. When I tell you this is the fashion Bible, this is the fashion Bible. If you don't have it, you need to get it. Like, I honestly love this book. I think I was highlighting everything in this book. Or actually, no, I wasn't highlighting because I didn't want to mess it up. I was actually using sticky notes. There's so much good information in here. Like, it's mainly about her life, but she's dropping so many tips on what to do in here. I read this book, I think, my sophomore year of college, or like my freshman or sophomore year of college. I don't remember. And you need this. Growing up, Kimora Lee Simmons was always my idol. Like, I've always loved her. If we had to write something in school on who we looked up to, she was who I wrote down. If they asked something about who would you want to meet or whatever in your field, she was always who I mentioned. Like, Kimora Lee Simmons, that is my girl, and I really definitely look up to her. Yeah, so that's as far as on fashion books. Magazines, as I mentioned before, you can check online to read articles, but I have so many magazines It's insane. As you can just see, all of these right here, okay, all of them right here. And I love Vogue. Vogue is my favorite, absolutely favorite. I love magazines mostly for the pictures, because I'm a creative, I'm an artist at heart. At heart, I'm an artist, so everything visual is like, it's my heart. So I'm very interested in magazines. Like I said, I'm mostly interested in the pictures, how it was put together, what they have on. Like, I look at things like that. The articles are cool too, but I'm mainly there for the spreads, the ads, seeing what it's looking like, what are these companies doing, how are they putting it together, things like that. I'm really interested in that. So like I said, Vogue is my favorite, but I also read some of Elle, some of everything. Like I said, I'm a magazine type of girl, so that's what I go for. That's pretty much as far as fashion. Now back to the books on the business side. So like I said, that's mostly what I read is business books. One really good book is You Are a Badass, How to Stop Doubting Your Greatness and Start Living an Awesome Life. I read this probably like a year or two ago, and when I tell you this is a really good book, this is a very good book. This book, Smart Women Finish Rich, it's a good book. I mean, I probably got it last year and I haven't made it through. I'm gonna just be honest. And I'm an avid reader, like I said. I probably have over like 100 and something pages to read, because I'm gonna be honest, it's so boring. It's so boring. Like, it's not a book to read for pleasure. This is a very informative book on how to be successful financially. Very informative, but it's very boring as well. So I had to stop when a book is not grabbing my attention. Like, I can't. I have to move on, and I'll come back later. But it's good. I just had to. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I just couldn't. Another book that I really like is The Power of Broke by Damon John. He's on Shark Tank. This book was so good. He created FUBU. Like I said, he was on Shark Tank, and he's done a few other things too. This book is pretty much about how he got his start, how he got through his career, what helped him out, what to do in certain situations while you're in business. It tells different stories of different entrepreneurs or business owners. Great book. Girl Code. It's called Girl Code: Unlocking the Secrets to Success, Sanity, and Happiness for the Female Entrepreneur. This is a pretty good book too. It's a pretty short read. It's I don't know how many pages. It's 143 pages. I read this, I think, in like a couple days. It's very good, very short, very straight to the point, very simple. It's about how Cara Laba, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. She's the person who created the Champagne Life. It's about how she got her start, how she got to where she was going, what she did during her journey, and just advice on being successful in business and being a successful entrepreneur. And then another one of my favorites is Girl Boss. So this book is very good. I read this probably about 4 years ago. It's absolutely amazing. It's about Sophia Amoruso. She's the creator of Nasty Gal. She doesn't own it anymore. She sold it to Boohoo, I think, about a year ago, because it just didn't work for her anymore. But she's the creator of the Girl Boss movement. I just really love this book. It was created into a Netflix series probably about a year ago as well. It's just really an amazing book. It's amazing because her story, it's about her story and how she created Nasty Gal, and before and during and after. It's just amazing to see a very raw story. I like to read books and read up on people who are very raw in telling their story. Like I've mentioned previously, I've had my business since I was 16, so about 5 years, almost 6 years. And it's nowhere near easy, and I'm not on the scale of any of the people in the books that I mentioned, but what I can say is that it is very, very hard to be an entrepreneur and to be a business owner and to create something from nothing at all. Some people have, you know, a step up or a leverage, or, you know, maybe some startup money from somewhere that they can use to create their business. But when you're starting from nothing at all, building it up from the ground, like, it takes so much blood, sweat, and tears and hard work to actually get to where you want to go. And then you're always, you know, finding a new place to get to. Once you reach that one goal, now you're trying to get somewhere else. Once you reach that, now you're trying to get somewhere else. It's very hard. You can't give up, because if you give up, you wasn't really in it for real. You can't give up. It's always a roller coaster. Owning a business, baby, it's hard. Okay, it's hard. It might be small voice. It's hard, but yeah, this is really good. I love people with raw stories, being honest on how they got to where they are, because it's not just cute and simple. And coming from somebody who's doing it and is trying to get to a certain place, I know that it's not easy. So when people talking about all the cutesy stuff, I can see through the BS, and I'm not interested, because I know that it's a lie. I know it's not true. So reading things that are raw, real, and honest is perfect for me. Another book that I didn't bring over here that I love is Shoe Dog by Philip Knight. It's about Nike. He's the creator of Nike. It's a great book. It started off very slow, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I started the book I actually bought the book last year, right, or beginning of 2018, something like that, and it was so boring. It started off so slow. So I stopped reading it. Like I said, if it's boring to me, I can't. Like, I'm not about to sit here and force myself to read this when I could be reading something else. So I stopped and I moved on to the next thing. September, I started back. And I kept reading. It took me a lot longer to read it than it usually takes me to read books, because it was like leading into the point, like dragging on to the point. But that's a really good book too. Yeah, those just are a few of the things that I like to do. Like I said, I like to look at articles online daily, whether it's business, fashion. It's mainly fashion for the most part online. My books are, like, my physical books are mainly business. Like, I don't do audio books. I just can't. Like, I love the physical book. I still have a library card. I still check books out at the library. Like, it's something about a physical book that cannot be replaced by something on a recorder. But yeah, magazines, online, articles, books, just having an open mind and open ears and being willing to listen, because you do not know it all. And me personally, like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, me coming into this industry, I want to know everything that I can know. When I get into these particular places or into these particular rooms or these particular companies, my ears are open, because there's so many stories to know, that you just can learn so much, because everybody's journey is so much different. Like, I forgot to mention this, but documentaries is huge too. I love documentaries. Like, on Netflix, if you just type in fashion documentaries, there's at least 15 of them. And I've watched every single one, from Raf Simons to Steve Madden to Jeremy Scott. Who else is on there? It's a lot. Okay, it's a whole lot. I love them. My favorite was the Raf Simons one. Another amazing documentary is Andre Leon Talley, The Gospel According to Andre. That's an amazing documentary. That's actually, I think, the only documentary of a black person in fashion that I've ever seen, and that's very sad. Like, it's very sad, but it's an amazing documentary. And if you are a black person in fashion, I think I mentioned this in one of my first vlogs, you need to go see the documentary. The internet is too much information is at our hands with our phones, that it's no reason why you shouldn't be able to access these things, is pretty much what I'm saying. You have so much knowledge at the palm of your hands, phone, laptop, whatever, that you should be doing more than scrolling on Instagram. There's more to know than just what's happening on Instagram, because a lot of this stuff will not make it to the internet. Like I said, all the glitz and glamour makes it online, but not the behind the scenes. And the behind the scenes and the groundwork and that hustle is what I'm interested in. The final product, yeah, it's cute, I love it, I love to look at it, but I'm more interested in what it took to get to that place. So yeah, these are a few things that I do. Mentors are important too. You know, webinars or workshops are great as well, because you can, like I said, everybody's journey is different and you can learn things from so many people. So just don't be so arrogant to the fact that you're like, oh, I got it. You don't have it. It don't matter how far ahead you are, you don't have it. There's always something that you can know different than you already know. I'm not saying, you know, go pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars to somebody for you not to learn nothing, but I'm saying don't be afraid to invest in yourself. There are good people out here who are doing workshops or webinars that are sometimes free. I just watched one last night and it was very motivating. But just make sure that you're keeping yourself abreast in your field or in how to do certain things overall, whether it's specifically for your field or if it's business generally. You just don't want to be left like a deer in headlights. You don't want to be asked the question, or, you know, be put in a point to where you should know something and you don't know, or something that is kind of like basic knowledge for your industry. You don't want to be caught like, ooh, I don't know. Now, if you've done your research and you don't know, that's okay too, but you don't want to just not know because you were too lazy to go find out. So being abreast in your industry, in your field, in your passion, whatever, is so freaking important. Like, it's so important. If you're into economics, see what's going on in economics, or in business daily. It takes nothing to go to the internet and look at current news in your industry. Like, that takes nothing. But me personally, finding out this information actually interests me in real life, so I have no problem doing it. Some people, I mean, it's kind of hard for them. If you don't like to read books, listen to an audiobook. If you don't like to go to a webinar, if you don't have the money to go to a workshop, see if you can find something online. If you don't know any mentors to reach out to, or if you don't have a mentor but you see somebody on Instagram that you want to be your mentor, reach out to them. I've done so many reaching out, and I've gotten so many opportunities just from reaching out to people. Like, you don't know what you don't know, and it does not hurt to ask. Still, sometimes I'd be scared to ask certain stuff, but I'm never afraid to ask somebody, hey, can I shadow you? Or hey, do you mind if I intern with you? Or hey, how do I do this and that? Like, I knew somebody through Instagram. We would like each other's pictures back and forth, and then we traded numbers. Like, people who are in your industry, they want the help too. They want a friend. Like, this whole journey of trying to get to where you're trying to go, you're not the only one trying to get to a certain spot. So it's somebody who can relate to you out there, and you liking her picture saying, yes sis, hey girl, I love what you're doing, I'm doing the same thing, and I feel like it would be great if we could link up and, you know, maybe, you know, talk it out or bounce ideas off of each other. Like, that doesn't hurt to do that. The worst thing that they can say is no, and if they say no, move on to the next person. Like, come on. But overall, I'm just saying, be prepared, be in the know of what's going on in your industry, what's the news, what's popping, what's not, what's stopping, what's going down, who doing what brands are doing this, what's the groundbreaking things going on, what's coming next, because things are going to continuously keep moving and you don't want to be left behind. And I'm gonna just leave that right there, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you take some tips away and maybe check out some of the things that I mentioned, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out.